their 30-minute presentations, and now we will have a series of shorter and 10-minute presentations. And so first of all, I will call on Ms. Alema Puzovic. I saw your name there earlier. There you go. Excellent.
Alema, yes. Good morning. Okay. Thanks. Do you see me? Okay. I will share my presentation now. I hope you can all see it. Okay, perfect. So first of all, thank you to all the professors for the very informative presentations. My name is Alema Puzovic, and I am the master's student in urban agriculture in the Faculty of Agriculture and Food Sciences in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I would like to firstly express my gratitude towards the whole team of Summerfield School for allowing me to present the concept of my work today. So today I'm going to talk about the rise of urban agriculture, actually the Z generation perception from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And throughout this presentation, I'm going to tackle some issues as key factors on urban growth and its impacts on food systems as related to urban areas. Then I'm going to talk about urban agriculture as a response to these global challenges, to explain the scope of urban agriculture, and also to explain business models in urban agriculture and what is the role of youth in urban agriculture, particularly Z generation members and their characteristics. So, as we all know, our environment today actually faces several problems, many of which seem to be worsening over the time, bringing us into a time of the environmental crisis. So, in terms of agriculture, this is extremely important because it is well known that that is a production that is very dependent of climate issues or I would say conditions. So within these problems, I would like to especially emphasize the pollution and also waste, but also human population or overpopulation. That brings me to the next slide, on which we can see the infographic that shows us actually the amount of food that is actually being per person worldwide that is being consumed or lost annually. And we can see here that nearly third of the whole food that is being produced is actually getting lost, and 68% of that is being eaten. So the question here is, do we really need to produce even more food, or do we need to actually use the food that is being produced more efficiently, distribute it more efficiently? So when it comes to the second problem that I mentioned, that is overpopulation, it is tightly connected to urbanization. So cities today occupy about 2% of the total land in the earth, but however, they generate about 70% of the GDP in the whole global economy, but also they produce they consume actually over 60% of global energy. They produce over greenhouse, over 70% of greenhouse gas emissions, and also they generate about 70% of global waste. So why is this important? This is important because as we can see that we are facing a shortage of resources such as food and fresh water to sustain the rising global population, particularly in developing countries such as Bosnia and Herzegovina. The problem is actually that intensive agriculture is attempting to lessen the problem throughout the producing large amounts of food, but it actually leads to more damage, leading to food insecurity. So big food deficits actually lead to food insecurity. So we need more sustainable ways of food production, and one of which is actually urban agriculture. So urban agriculture can be actually simply defined as the set of activities that include production, processing, and also distributing food in urban areas such as cities. So as urban agriculture is being recognized as one of the innovative ways to improve the quality of life in urban areas, the aim of this study is to examine the beliefs and attitudes, also the behaviors and the intentions of young people, members of Z generation, in the context of further development of urban agriculture in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I have to emphasize that this is the pilot pilot research that is still ongoing because I'm working with a very large sample. As we can see here, within this research, I had many tasks, and one of them is actually to, based on previous studies on urban agriculture in Bosnia and Herzegovina, to form and conduct a survey of members of the Z generation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. For this, I need about a couple of hundreds of respondents, so I'm expecting to finalize the data in next couple of weeks. For today, so I presented the key facts on urban growth and its impacts on food system as related to urban areas. So this data is very important. So because we can see that over 55% of the world's population now live in urban areas, and also that 85% of the world's population live in or within 3 hours of an urban center. Also, as I mentioned earlier, 2% of the Earth's surface is now occupied with cities, but also a third of all food that is being produced for human consumption is actually lost. Within the municipality waste, we can find that over 50% of it is actually from the food and green waste. But also in low-income countries, food expenditure in cities may be as high as thirds or over 60% of total household expenditure. Also, agro-industry accounts for more over than 50% of value that is actually addition in manufacturing. So the question that arises is actually how can urban agriculture help overcome these challenges? So on this scheme, we can see something that is called 3 pillars of sustainability. And it is very tightly connected to urban agriculture because it allows us first of all, environmental development throughout greening of cities and increasing biodiversity, but also social development throughout increasing health, food security, education, and community development. Also, it actually allows us economic development throughout entrepreneurship and income generation, rising of the employment, but also something that is very specific for urban agriculture is innovation and research and development. This is very important and prominent in urban agriculture because, as we can see, it can take many different forms, many of which actually include very innovative types of production. On this picture, we can see those are hydroponics, then aquaculture production, sky farming or vertical farming, indoor farming, etc. All of these actually innovative productions are response to challenges that urban agriculture faces within urban areas. Why? Because urban agriculture actually is being conducted in very urban areas, which means that it has actually faces scarcity of many resources such as land, fresh water, then large, very high cost production such as electricity, etc. So for urban farmers to stay productive, very important thing is to choose one of the business models that exist in urban agriculture. Throughout last couple of years, based on characteristic city-adjusted farm activities and also business model methods, some scholars have recently started to develop classifications of urban farming's business models, as it's shown in Table 1. For the urban agriculture to be recognized by the authorities as the economic system that actually creates and generates a lot of value, it is very important for urban farmers to actually choose one of these business models that are shown. In my work, I'm actually referring to this one specifically by Professor Pollingburn, because it is consisted of 2 groups of business models, the ones that are actually based on generic strategies, business strategies, and also the innovative ones. Now I'm going to talk about the role of youth in urban agriculture, particularly the members of Z generation, because in the next decade, millions of new green jobs will be created in new industries like solar energy and some of the established fields like architecture, then fashion and farming, urban farming. And for young people, these jobs will represent an opportunity to earn a steady living while helping to tackle some of the planet's biggest challenges, as I mentioned before, from climate change to pollution to species loss. And therefore, the involvement of young people in urban agriculture is not a surprise, because required skills for this job include system thinking skills, science skills, urban planning and architectural skills, also green engineering and tech skills, agricultural skills, and creative skills. All of these skills actually are very related to the characteristics of Z generation. So Z generation is actually the generation that has members that are born between, based on some authors, between 1995 to 2010, on other authors between 2000 and 2010. So that is actually the members of the Z generations are the ones that are expected to enter the work field within next couple of years, up to 10 years, and that is why they are very important. So as we can see on the infographic, some of the characteristics of these generations are actually that they are very social, they are multitaskers, they're entrepreneurs, so they actually, they actually make their own startups. Then they are very educated, because every second member of the Z generation will have a college education or degree. They're very aware of the global issues, and they are called the generation of technology. That is what they are called, actually, digital natives. Also, they're interactive, tech savvy, less focused, because they actually need continuous updates and stimulation. And also they're very cautious, because they tend to be more careful with their expenses. These characteristics of Z generation, combined with these growing trends in the agro-technical, food and biotechnology sector, represent increasing opportunities for the younger generation to remain heavily involved in agriculture without high risk, hard work, and opportunity costs of living on a home farm, which is a good indicator of continued development of urban agriculture, especially in developing countries. So that is why I chose that generation as my focus group. And that is all. Thank you for your attention.
Excellent. Thank you very much.